Good day, welcome back to the Voice of Sport, Global Sport in Colour, sports magazine show. I'm here with Rodney Hines, sports editor of The Voice newspaper, Michael Facey, owner of Nothing Long, and myself, Joel Campbell, aka Dreading Man. Boys, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Back into posh around.
Yeah, now we're back. And we're back at the Kick It Out offices in central London. And it'd be remiss of me to continue without bigging them up and saying thank you for giving us the space.
Absolutely.
It's really appreciated. They celebrate 25 years next year in the business, and I know there was a recent report that kind of made me sit up and take note. Their job, their role, their position is required, still needed, still relevant, even after all this time, and I don't know where we'd be without them, to be honest with you. So thanks for Troy for letting us be here. We're stationed here for the next couple of weeks. And we're gonna
hopefully for a bit longer as well.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
It's cold outside.
It's cold outside.
It is cold outside. It is. We're gonna highlight some of the great stuff that they've got going on in the future, and things that the public need to be a part of and get involved in. Staying on the subject of football, always our strongest, always our strongest area of sport. Rodney, we're back. Premier League season, 7 or 8 games in. But before we get on to that, I want to talk about England. We just qualified for the World Cup. We do.
We have to.
We do.
Unbeaten as well.
We do. Who, England?
Yeah.
We did that though.
But we've done it before.
We did that for the
Euros.
European.
Listen, it's
and
still,
then we all ended up in Iceland.
Listen, let's talk about the 2 games that saw us qualify, Slovenia and Lithuania. Mike and I were at the Slovenia game. Rodney, you watched the Lithuania game. I didn't sit down and put myself through that, but it weren't the greatest spectacle. Mike, you don't get to go to Wembley as often as I do, so it's good to hear from somebody that isn't at close quarters with the team as much as I am.
Would you want the highlights?
I just want you to give me your perspective on what you saw.
I saw planes being thrown by the crowd, going in the goal like it was Spanish style, and we was all happy just to see them hit the pitch.
Yeah, it was bad.
And that was amazing. That was
bad.
the highlight.
It was bad. It was really. That was a significant part of the day. But in terms of the way the team played,
performance. I mean, look, Gareth he said it time and time again. We're building a young side, and it does look like they're building a young side, but it just looks like there's no energy in it, apart from Marcus Rashford doing what he does best, and
Harry Kane.
And Harry Kane doing what he does, just poaching. Where's it all going to come from? Who's going to change it? Where's the energy?
I thought that was Southgate's job. You would have thought after that Slovenia game, they'd muster more energy for the Lithuania match. They didn't, did they really?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's an age-old problem as far as I'm concerned, because I've seen in the summer, a semi-strong Germany team win the Confederations Cup without their best players. I look at France, who towards the end of their World Cup campaign did struggle a little bit, but where I'm really tired of England at the moment is that I don't know where we're going. I don't know what the plan is.
Three at the back, apparently.
And we have, that's this week, we have really good players. Yeah. And I heard Gareth Southgate say something the other day that when he was playing, there was normally about 140 English players on view in English football on any given weekend. However,
you said we've got really good players.
Yeah, we have really good players. But what I'm saying is, when he was playing, he said it was 140. Due to the love of the Premier League, that's now down to 70. He said that himself the other day. Now, I understand that. Do you want a strong Premier League, which we clearly have, or do you want a good England? Because that is an inference that, for me, foreign players are taking up the spaces that English players should have. And I can see that. But surely, the 70 that are playing every weekend, we've got some really good players.
And there should be some influences.
There should be some influence. There should be some. Absolutely right. I just don't know. I'm just. If you record something that I said 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it's exactly what we're saying now. What's happened?
The thing is, do you know why I can't take that correlation between the success of the Premier League and the paucity in talent or dearth of talent with England? The reason why I can't take that on board is because there was a period 20 odd years ago where there was no Premier League. There was a period in this country's history where the league was dominated by domestic talent. So by domestic talent, I mean Scottish, Welsh, Irish, English, right? Those that was the vast majority of the makeup of the league. At that point, England weren't doing anything.
Totally agree with you.
So then there is no correlation between.
Only quoting what he said, but yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
I watch Wales, just missed out on the playoffs. I watch Republic of Ireland, qualified for the World Cup playoffs, and I watch Northern Ireland and I watch those two teams with less fanfare and big name players, but I see a structure of play.
I've got a question for you with that then. But would any of those teams beat England?
Possibly not. And I forgot Scotland as well, who just failed in the playoffs. Yeah. They probably wouldn't. But what did Wales do in the Euros? They did something that England have never done in the Euros for a while. They went to the business end of the Euros with a team that just about missed out. So I don't know. We just don't seem to have a plan. And as you said, that's got to be the manager's job because we have good players.
I think he's honest in his assessment. And listen, Gareth is honest insofar as he didn't want the job. There was no one else. He took the job, right? We always have to remember that. He would have been happy sitting in the wings, building himself up, getting stronger as a coach to be in the position that he's in now. He got shunted into the position, into the limelight. He's taking it on, right? So for me, it's a bit early for him even. But here we are. The one thing he can be is honest, and I think that's what he's done. We might not always like the honest assessments that he makes of the team, insofar as how he sees it.
He's very honest.
Yeah, but at least he's not trying to pull the wool over our eyes and tell us that
can't do that.
I know, but
can't do that.
And so therefore we can't have it both ways, in my opinion. We can't have it.
I think what we can have as a football watching public in this country is with the finest England players in a squad. Expect better performances than we're seeing now. I think I'm not saying win trophies, I'm saying better performances.
I do believe though. I've got a theory. I do believe, and I'm buying into a bit of what Gareth's saying. Like he said, he's honest. The job is to qualify. They've done that. Everyone's happy.
As they normally do in most tournaments.
Right. So now that job's done, I expect those crop of players to go to that tournament and be a little bit more free and expansive in their job.
Based on what?
I mean, I understand where it's coming from, but I also say I understand what you're saying.
I would say to you is this. Everyone keeps talking about Harry Kane, quite rightly. People talk about Marcus Rashford, quite rightly. Goal scorers will win you tournaments. However, I'm not sure that the midfield and the defensive line that England have is going to protect those goals that those guys score. Because right now, there's a young man at Arsenal called Jack Wilshere who's been in the wilderness for some time. And if Jack Wilshere stays fit, can get into the Arsenal team again, help him win a Champions League spot, etc., he's nailed on to play for England.
He will be
because there is such a paucity of midfield talent. We are not going to win a World Cup with a Jordan Henderson.
And Dele Alli was missing though the other day.
Dele was missing.
But anyway,
let me move it on a little bit then. In an ideal world, Southgate's already said he's going to experiment with the squad, the team, in the next couple of games. What's your best starting 11? How should he go into that game? Bearing in mind, he said he's going to play for it at the back. This is what's going to happen. Let's start at the back and let's do it quickly. Michael, start with you.
I can't even answer that question.
Come on. Mike, starting at the back.
Because
Joe Hart or the other one. What's the other one's name?
He's going to... what's the other one's name? Jack Butland.
Pickford.
He's not going to be Pickford.
He's not getting picked.
He's not getting picked.
And that's Crystal in the background for those who can't see her off the camera.
From Kick It Out.
Chipping out from Kick It Out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Salute to Crystal.
I don't know. That's
no. I'll tell you what. I'm going to throw it out there. It's literally the team that's playing now.
Yeah.
But I would either remove Jordan Henderson.
Yeah.
Or Dyer, one of the two defensive midfielders, and I'll put a more attacking-minded player, either Jack Wilshere if he's fit and he's in, or Dele Alli.
Dele Alli has to play.
And I don't think he's going to play this sort of traditional midfield.
And I'll take out Ox. Ox wouldn't be playing for me. He's all over the place for me.
He hasn't found his form.
He hasn't found his form yet. He's moved to a new
club. And there is a player that is indicative of maybe where England are. Lots of potential, but a lack of delivery.
Right, boys.
Go on,
three at the back. All right, go Joe Hart in goal.
Cahill.
At the back. Cahill.
Who's the other two?
Jones, Smalling.
Jones and Smalling.
Much of a muchness, really.
Yeah, much of a muchness?
Much of a muchness.
All right, well, that's the back three. Jones.
Cole Walker on the right.
Jones, Smalling, Cahill.
Cole Walker on the right.
Danny Rose on the other side.
Danny Rose on the left.
And in the middle of the park, I'll have Jack Wilshere and Eric Dyer. And up top, I'm going to have Dele Alli. And in front of him, I'm going to have Harry Kane And me personally, I might go for a Jermaine Defoe.
Ooh. Controversial.
The reason I say that is because
the
reason I say that is because the way England have been doing it forever is so dull, boring, and stereotypical. Play a veteran striker who's been at tournaments, knows how to score goals, and for me would be a perfect foil for the man that's Harry Kane.
That's a good little team you've got there, man.
Yeah, because I think what England have to do, they have to smash the glass now. Let's do something different, because the way that Roy Hodgson has been doing it, Gareth's been doing it, and whoever was before them, Big Sam, it ain't working. We have to go different.
The only player I would actually change in that squad, because that's a very good team, I'll drop Dele Alli.
I surprised you, didn't I?
No, you did. I'll drop Dele Alli back into that central because he's got legs.
Yeah.
I'll remove Dyer or one of the defensive midfielders. I mean, one of the mid defenders. Put Dyer on that back line, and I'd throw Rashford in where Dele have Dele Alli slotted in. So there's more energy at the front on the wingers. I like that team.
The only thing I think complicates the way England approach games is when you look at because that's great. It's a great team, both of those teams, but that's set up for attack.
Yeah.
Can England go into matches and impose their attacking threat on everybody? I don't think they can. No. I think Southgate's default position is we need to shore up the ship. Even when he talked about reverting to three at the back, he said he needs to make sure the team has good shape when they haven't got the ball.
That's why I said 5 minutes ago, G. If you look at England at tournaments, there has been a nervousness, there's been a biting of nails, and it doesn't work.
I agree.
We have to go on the front foot because goals win you games.
Even if you get smashed in 5-0.
Well, you got beaten by Iceland.
Guardiola mentality, that is.
Yeah. I mean, I saw an interview with Guardiola the other day, and he said, "This is how I play."
And what?
And the challenge that I have, I don't know what England's DNA is. I don't know what they do.
They don't know what it is, Ronnie.
Exactly. So there is the problem.
But
let's create the DNA.
Well, that's what he's doing.
Because what Gareth said is, we're not going to be like the Spanish side, but we're looking at their same systems and the way they do their things. So effectively, you're ripping off another country's bits and pieces.
Let me stop you, because we're going to cut to what he actually said now. After the Slovenia game, where he talked about Spain and England game, Germany, Brazil.
We're having to find a way of winning by being a bit more savvy because we're not flowing with the ball. I said to somebody earlier, we qualified 2-2 against Greece. Was an exciting game at Old Trafford, but we didn't play very well. But everybody remembers David Beckham's goal and the drama of it, and we leave on a high. And that was on the back of a campaign where I played in Finland and we drew 0-0 and we got killed by everybody, which was also a critical point. So, is this team exactly where we want it to be? Of course it isn't. It is young and it is learning how to win. Are we going to become Spain in the next 8 months? No, we're not. No, we're not. But respectfully, they've got a squad full of players that have won league titles, won Champions League medals. So, we keep talking about world-class players, and I come back to until you win things and until you are able to really perform and prove yourself on that stage, then you can't consider yourself in that company. But our lads now have a chance to play on that stage again, and that hasn't always been the case.
Southgate is, when I look at him, I think he's growing into the job. I do think that, and if he's growing into the job in front of us, hopefully that means that behind the scenes he's getting more confident and the players are buying into what he's suggesting.
Yeah. One thing I would say about Gareth Southgate, he is not the reason that the team is in the position it is now. He is just the latest holder of the keys.
Who's the reason, Rod?
You might have to look at the Football Association. You might have to look at the coaching. You might have to look at things like that. Because that's how the players come through.
It's funny because I agree with all those points, but I think that the minute they set up, that place of excellence up north, Burton,
where I'm going to on Monday,
the minute they set that up, they were serious about actually developing coaches, actually making sure that there's a conveyor belt of people that could potentially step into Gareth Southgate's shoes. And I think that this is the process.
We don't want to make it the Gareth Southgate show, but I'll just say this: if you put Arsene Wenger potentially. Alex Ferguson, if he was still about, Jose Mourinho in charge of the same set of players we're talking about now, you would get different results. I would bet all of my mortgages on that.
I don't know. And I'm going to throw a spanner in the woodwork.
Because it's about coaching of players, belief of players.
Let me just throw a spanner in the woodwork, sir. Could it just be the culture and the mentality of the English people?
It is. That's why I say, I just named 3 that I believe would get another 10, 15 or 20% out of the same set players.
Yeah.
Looking across the rest of Europe, what anybody impressed by any other teams that qualified for the World Cup? Portugal did it by the...
Do you know, I watched Portugal in their last game against Switzerland. They are European champions.
And they scraped it, mate.
They scraped it, but you know what? Come Judgment Day, they delivered. That winning mentality. I mean, tournament football is tournament football. You don't have to be great. No. Yeah, obviously you need to qualify, get there. And then tournament football for 6 weeks, we're together. We might hate each other, but we got to play together and get a result for 6 games. That's a different thinking altogether, and that's what England don't have. They don't have a tournament mentality. Portugal, impressed. France, just based on the ability, France. If Deschamps can get them all together, I think they're going to be dangerous. And talking about tournament football, the Germans, they can be at 60%, they can be at 70%. They turn up at a tournament, scrape it through. Oh, the Germans are in a semi-final. None of us can be surprised by that.
Know about it. Yeah, they'll just turn up.
Germany have won the trophy.
No one's going to be surprised.
Tournament mentality.
And Spain as well.
And Spain.
As always.
And that's maybe based, maybe more so than Germany, on ability as well. A man that can score a goal, etc., etc. So all of the obvious suspects. And I tell you what, if Italy get through the playoffs, you can't rule them out. They're like the Germans. Belgium. If they come alive, it's all over.
Yeah, Belgium.
They're coming like England to me, man.
Sleeping dogs.
No, they got better players than England.
But they ain't done nothing with them.
I know, but if you've got the ability,
they come late,
you can get there. But anyway,
we'll see.
It's going to be great.
Half a chance.
Big up Iceland as well.
Who?
Yeah.
For qualifying for the World Cup.
They qualified, didn't they?
Yeah, making sure that, the European Championships weren't the only thing that they've been in. We'll leave international football for now. Let's move on to the Premier League. Look at and a story that broke earlier in the week after the international break. Sadio Mane out for 6 weeks. That's a big blow for Liverpool.
Huge.
Big blow, especially given the fact I think their next game is Man United.
I mean, he went to the Cup of Nations and they missed him. I think they won 1 game out of 7.
And they sent a plane to go.
He brings pace, power, energy and goals. And you know why their problem is even bigger down there? Because you got a misfiring Daniel Sturridge as well.
Yeah.
Is he misfiring or is he just disinterested?
No, he's misfiring.
I think he looks disinterested to me. He looks like he's...
It's a shame because I would have thought in a World Cup, he'd have been motivated.
You know what, Daniel Sturridge for me needs to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you say that he's
already
been at Chelsea, he's already been at Man City, and he's now at Liverpool. Yeah. Where else is there for him to go?
Tottenham. Sit behind, Harry Kane.
Harry, sit down again. He's sitting down anyway.
No, Pochettino wouldn't accept that.
I know. He couldn't handle the training, if I'm honest, to be honest.
Couldn't handle it.
So it's a big blow for
massive
for Liverpool. I think I saw somewhere written that when he's playing, their average of 2.2 goals a game.
That's right, yeah.
And when he's not playing, it's like 1.6. So they're really going to struggle. Yeah. Listen, we're a couple of months into the season, boys. So let's nail our colours to the mast there. Who looks good to win the title this year, and or a domestic trophy, or out of the teams that are in the Champions League, who could progress the furthest? I mean, what's our assessment after 7-8 games?
2 Manchester clubs. One of them's mine. Love that. And they both look good. Man United haven't had a massive test. Liverpool will do that this weekend, hopefully. Chelsea, they're going to be there and thereabouts. And Tottenham for me.
Okay.
So they're again the ones that like Germany, they'll creep, they'll do their thing, they'll chip away, and you'll see them in the top 4. You'll be like, what are they doing there? But they've been doing it for the past 3 seasons.
Ruts?
There's almost 4 or 5 divisions within the Premier League now, isn't there?
Yeah.
Both Manchester clubs, Tottenham and Chelsea, in that order.
Yeah.
With Liverpool and Arsenal trying to get into there. You've then got the safe, what I call mid-division clubs, Stoke, West Brom, Southampton. Yeah. Then you've got the teams trying to avoid relegation, and then finally you've got Crystal Palace. Because that there, I mean, we could have done
Can they survive, or is it a wrap?
They can survive.
Because if that form came at any point of the season, we'd be saying, if that form had come at the back end of the season, you'd be looking at it and saying,
the problem that they have is that 7 games in, and nada, goals or points.
Nothing.
To overturn that, you've then got to win like 7 games on the spin.
Yeah.
And that ain't happening.
No, I agree.
That is not happening.
I totally agree.
I think that the Brightons, the Newcastles, who's the other team that came up? Huddersfield have a little blessed now. Because
one of them,
one relegation spot, in my opinion, has already gone.
Right.
So those 3 promoted clubs now have to sort themselves out, and all of them have made decent starts, by the way.
Mike,
So,
where did it go wrong for Crystal Palace, mate?
I couldn't even tell you. Balassi went missing.
I'll tell you where it went wrong. It's quite simple. That you employ a man that's totally different to Sam Allardyce. So you want the players to change their philosophy.
Again.
Bang. You then don't give him enough time. Bang. 3, you compound the scenario by employing a 70-year-old manager, with all due respect, who was responsible for the Iceland debacle with England. Enough said.
I mean, I'm really surprised given some of the people in charge of Crystal Palace and the things that they've achieved.
I think Rodney's killed it.
Why they find their position? But you're right, Mike. We'll leave it there. Rods, give me some of the games to watch this weekend.
Only one for me. It's probably the biggest game in England.
Yeah.
Despite what Chelsea have done and Arsenal have done, it's Liverpool entertaining Manchester United, which, if you know your history, the 2 biggest clubs in England. So let's not mess about with that. Liverpool obviously had a fall from grace as far as but they were standard setters. Man United took over that standard bearer stuff, and of course they're about 8-10 miles apart from each other. There's only one, and I think
who wins?
For me, I'm going to go for Man United.
Mike?
Don't ask me them questions.
Man United?
Because for me, United went there last year, from what I remember, and Jose bored the pants off people one Monday night. However, he now has the tools to go to a Liverpool team that can't defend, with Lukaku, the Rashfords, the Martials, the Lingards, the Herreras, etc., and do the damage.
Remember that Liverpool team last year, at that time, when they were firing. So in his mind, he said, we can't cope with that. Let's just sit back.
And let me tell you something, if United go to Anfield and win, they are dangerous. Just mindset dangerous.
No Fellaini though, that'd be interesting. See what happens there. Before we leave football, I know, Rodney, you want to talk a little bit about the blacklist, which is coming back in a matter of weeks.
November the 8th.
November the 8th. Just explain to those who are going to be a little bit confused by the fact that it's back again so quickly after the first one. Not that I'm complaining, I love a blacklist.
The football blacklist celebration that we had in March was to pay homage to the people that were on the list in 2016. Credit to the Premier League and my erstwhile colleague Leon Mann. Decided that, you know what, those recognised on the 2017 list should be recognised in 2017. So that's how it works. November the 8th, Central London, and then we'll be back on track for 2018 a year later down the road. But it's fantastic. We'll at cricket out offices, they have their Raise You game, which Troy is wholly responsible in terms of that.
And Crystal now.
And what I'm seeing is a wonderful, wonderful black-centred events on the football calendar, and that's fantastic to see. Blacklist, Raise Your Game, we had the Chris Hughton tribute as well, and there are others, so fantastic.
Definitely others, and in the pipeline as well. We literally spent almost 25 minutes talking about football, boys, right? We could talk about it for another 25 minutes quite easily, but let's move on to a bit of boxing. Can't be remiss of me to kind of look past the fact that Chris Eubank Jr. won so well in Germany last week as part of that global tournament that's going on between super middleweights and cruiserweights, I believe.
Yeah, there was another one,
emphatic victory. Mike, I know you watched it. What were your thoughts?
On Chris, he just done what he was supposed to, and he hasn't surprised me 1 inch at this stage. I expected him to walk through him. It's all about, for me, the next one. If George Groves gets through his fight, it's all about that one there. Chris Eubanks, George Groves, that will show us his skill level at super middleweight. Then we'll know where he's really at.
Agreed, definitely. Rod, did you catch any of the
I didn't catch any of it, but what I would say about Chris Eubank Jr., he's an exciting fighter.
Yeah.
Sometimes you wish he would focus a little bit more on defence, but he's a genuine fighter. I like him. I know some of his connections. There's some big plans for him, and there's some big fights there for him. And I don't think he's going to shy away from a battle.
David Haye's not shying away from a battle either, is he?
No.
He's got Tony Bellew, the rematch on December 17th at the London O2 Arena. That fight didn't go the way the fans thought it would earlier this year. Tony Bellew took the W, albeit Haye was injured. Thoughts on the rematch? Who wins that and why?
Depends which David Haye goes in the ring. We said this last time. If he's 100% fit, he looks in very, very good shape. Well, it could go either way.
It's a shout, Mike, because for me, I think the rigours of a really decent heavyweight career, cruiserweight career, whichever you want to say, has caught up with David. I think his body's no longer capable. He can't trust his body anymore. Yeah. And as a top-line athlete, especially a boxer, if you can't trust your body, you're in banging problems. And to tell the truth, I'd expect the same result. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, let's have a look at what, or listen to what David had to say earlier.
You do the best you can with the cards you've been dealt on the night, and that's exactly what I did. I felt, with the circumstances, I did the best I could, but my best wasn't good enough to get the win. But I believe on December 17th, my best will be, and that's all I can do. All I can do is make sure that on the first bell, I'm ready to fight 12 hard rounds. I don't believe going by the first fight. Maybe he's learnt something new in training. Maybe he went straight back into training camp after that and carried on working diligently on his technique and his rhythm and his timing. I don't know. That's his business. But if he does what he did in the first fight, in the second fight, I don't believe the result will be the same.
David, confident as always, pragmatic though. He wasn't he wasn't chucking it like he has done in the past. And
when he's like some of those bombs hit his head and body, and his body collapsed on him the way it did, you've got to be a bit more pragmatic.
And you lost as well.
Yeah, the trash talk of the first fight. I don't think we'll see that this time around, because I think David now understands
anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
And that's why we love sport. If we could predict it and get it right all the time, it'd be quite dull.
I'm not sure about the Achilles as well. It's a quick recovery for me.
Quick turnaround.
Very quick recovery.
Got a good doctor.
Yeah, true.
Well, we'll find out.
Well, we know already. He's got a good doctor. Listen, Anthony Joshua fights back end of this month as well. Another defence out in Cardiff this time. It don't look like they're selling tickets in the way that they have done. Maybe
no, because Mr. Pulev isn't.
Or is it because it's Pulev?
Mr. Pulev isn't sexy, but what I would say, because we just sort of reference it with the Haye Bellew thing, take care, Anthony. Take care and just do your road work as you would normally do your road work, because sport, especially heavyweight boxing, has a way of just clapping you around the side of the head.
The other day he did say that he's not trying to be an unbeaten fighter. He said potentially he could lose, but that's just the nature of the game. So in that respect, he is prepared for whatever comes, and he's going to do the best job that
he should beat Pulev though. I mean, if he's got genuine desires to prove that he's the best in the division, Pulev shouldn't really pose too much of a threat. So good luck to Anthony ahead of his fight. Hopefully we'll speak to him after that and see what his plans are for 2018. I'm sure they're going to be exciting. Deontay Wilder's making a lot of noise. He turned down a fight with Dylan White. Dylan, we see you pressuring him, so keep doing what you're doing. And hopefully that division should blow up next year. It's really. I think 2018 is going to be an exciting time for heavyweight boxing. Lastly, but not least, we've got a extended interview that we've done, Mike and I done, Rodney, with Desiree Henry, who's been battling with some pretty serious ailments over the last couple of years, but achieved none the same. She's obviously been part of successful quartets in the 4x100 relay, both in Rio and in London this year. So I guess before I do any talking, let's just let the clip run for itself.
I can't take world championship or elite world medals for granted. To go to my first Olympics and come away with a medal, amazing. I've been able to go to a world championships, which I wanted to do, and come away with a medal with the relay girls, which is also something. So there's definitely had its ups and downs, but yeah, 2017 has been very, very hard. We do this, but you did it individually. You were part of this quartet. There's 4 girls in this whole nation that were chosen to represent Great Britain in the relay, and we came away with a medal. A cyst was formed behind both of my knees, and that has made things extremely painful. I never want to finish my career thinking, oh yeah, I just pushed through this pain.
That's Desiree Henry. The trailer hopefully does it justice in terms of the full extended interview. Go and check that out, both on nothinglong.com and thevoice-online.co.uk. And Desiree, wherever you are, we hope you get well soon, and we're looking forward to seeing you battling it out next year at the Europeans. I know that's her target.
Most definitely.
That's that this week, boys. It's been fun, action packed. There's been a lot going on. We spent way too long talking about football, and
absolutely, that's the nature of the beast at the moment.
Definitely, and especially because we love the game so much. We'll be back next week. Anything anybody want to add before we close up?
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, and thanks to Kick It Out.
Yes, indeed.
See you guys.
They've raised their game.
Yeah.